So I went to Rowan Place, and one of the items on the left-hand side toward the bottom is ECM checklist, and that's just one of the data sections. The ECM checklist is a preset list of recommendations. And in this case, there's recommendations for air sealing, attic, wall, floor, heating, cooling, hot water, venting, health and safety. And you can simply go through and identify which ones make sense for your situation. You need to insulate the floor, and you need to insulate the step, weather strip and the steps to the attic, and you need to insulate, I don't know, the walls. And maybe that's the only recommendations that you're going to make. Those recommendations, if that's the only ones you're going to make, that's easy. That's very quick and easy, and you're done. However, the recommendations that can be made are way beyond this. So this is a predefined list. And let me just pull up a report, and then we'll talk about the recommendation section, which on the lower left is called recommendations. And I am going to create a new residential energy survey report, which is a customer report. And click on that, and it will send the information out to our web server and come back with a report. And what you see here is at the top of the page, there is a recommendations checklist. And those 3 items that I checked off are checked off on here. So the attic, weather strip, insulate floor, and insulate walls. And there are no additional recommendations. And then below that are the existing conditions. And in this case, it's a short list because this particular audit was not filled out. So there's virtually no data here. But that checklist is only a convenience. It's not the only way that you can make recommendations. And I assume that's what you're getting at, Brian.
Yeah.
So the recommendation, so that was the ECM checklist. I'll go back to it. Like I say, it's there for your convenience. In a lot of cases, it may be sufficient, but not all. So now I'm going to go to recommendations, which is the next item. Click on it. And you can set up as many of these as you want. And the recommendations can be as short or as elaborate as you want. So I'm going to say 2 things here. I'm going to give it a title, and then I'm going to give it an action. And so if I click on the down arrow, I get a drop list that allows me to pre-fill the title. I can simply go in and fill it in. So let me just do that first. I should have done that. So I'm going to say title, insulate. And I can type in whatever I want. But more than likely, I will have something in the drop list that is more complete. So in this particular case, I'm going to say attic insulate to R30. And instead of typing the whole thing in, I can pick it from the list. We can, again, expand that list if we need to. And then the action is call a contractor, or whatever you want it to be. There's an action item, and then there's also an internal note. And the internal note is just to yourself. It's an internal note. It doesn't go out to customer. And that may say a reminder to call the contractor, or whatever you want it to be again. So I've just created a recommendation. It can certainly be a lot more extensive than this. Upper left-hand arrow, save. I now have a single recommendation, and I'm going to add one more recommendation. Again, use the drop list, and I want to say that I want to air seal the attic as well. Very leaky. And I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to go back and recreate that report. So back to reports, delete the old report because I made changes and I want to see the changes. So I want to regenerate it. Click on number 3, Residential Energy Survey. And now I have the recommendations checklist at the top, which we had before. And now I've added 2 additional recommendations. Number 1 is attic insulation. Number 2 is attic air seal attic. You can add as many as you want. There's one special recommendation that you can add, and we'll do that right now. So we'll go to recommendations again. And I'm going to create a new recommendation, a third one. And the special one is for recommending that they contact their weatherization agency. So this next to last item is called Contact Weatherization Agency. And if I select that, and if I've entered the county, then it will automatically give me the contact information for that county. So before I do this, I'm going to go back and add the county because I haven't done that, I don't believe. Well, let's find out. Oh, it was in there, I'm sorry. So the title is Contact Weatherization Agency, and the action is automatically the contact information for that weatherization agency. Makes it very convenient to make that recommendation along with the information that you need to give them to say, who do I call? And that's by county. So every county for North Carolina is in the database here. So I'm going to save that, and then again delete because it was already created, and then regenerate. And now what you see is, and I'm going to blow it up here, there is a Contact Weatherization Agency and the contact information. You didn't have to type any of that in. You just selected Contact Weatherization Agency, and it's all there. Again, trying to make this as convenient as it makes sense for you for referring that customer to additional services if necessary. You don't have to, but it's there and available for you.